Welcome to Calder. Today we're going to be carrying out good practice for electrofusion. We're also going to be using Calder's complementary tools. So we're going to start off with pipe preparation. It's always good practice to make sure that the face of your pipe is as level as possible within a 5-degree variant, as well as cleaning the face of the pipe. So we're going to use a 63mm pipe cutter, and we will just take the edge of this pipework off. As you can see, we've got a nice clean face to work with now. So what I would recommend then afterwards is we just give the pipework a nice thorough clean. We obviously don't want any dirt, antioxidants or any oils that could affect the electrofusion process. We then recommend to use a re-rounding tool. This is the Calder 63mm re-rounding tool. So we will put that on the pipework. Okay, we want a fairly firm fit, and then we can just make sure that the pipe has been re-rounded correctly for our scraping process. Once we've completed that, we will now do our measurements. Correct way to do measurements is that if we take the width of the fitting, obviously put that in half, and we will add 10 to 20 mils after that. Reason for that is so that there is proof that the correct scraping was carried out. So we know that the coupling halfway is 55 mil, so we will make it 70 mil. And we can mark that nice and straight, just as a reference, and then we will mark where we're going to cut. Right, this is a Uniprep 4. This is a Calder in-house product, manufactured in-house. And this has a range between 63 and 250 mil. We place that over the pipework, clamp it down to have a secure feeling to it, so it's a little bit of resistance. Then we move the blade over to where we want to start cutting from, activate that, and then we can drop the blade into position. It's very important to keep the spring deactivated. Once you've locked that into position, then we can drop the tension on the blade. And now we can scrape. As you can see, while it's scraping, the plastic is staying in contact. So, for easy removal, and we don't leave any contaminants in the pit when we finished off. Okay, so we can just raise the blade like that, and we can remove all the swarf. As you can see, all the swarf is now in one contact piece and no contamination. Once we've done the scraping, we can open up the sealed fitting to make sure that you don't leave any contaminants inside there. We will then do a second wipe just to clean everything off, and we can place the fitting over the unit, leaving it covered at the moment until you process the other side of the pipe, clean, prep and scrape. We will then put the pipes together and we will carry out our fuse. Now that we've prepared the other side of our pipe work, we are now going to butt the two pipes up against the fitting, making sure that they fit exactly in the middle where the bump stop is in the fitting. Bearing in mind we've left the protective cover on just to prevent as much contamination as possible. So we will now slide the pipe over and make sure that it is now butted up. We're using our mains clamp, Calder mains clamp. We can just lock it into position. This helps to keep the pipework level as well as when it's in its cooling time, so that there's no chance for movement. We'll be using the Griffon, Electrofusion Griffon, to start off with. This machine primarily comes with Mark V lead ends, which gives you the option of a 4mm or a 4.7mm fitting. So the fitting we're using today is a 4mm. So we shall plug them in. And now we are ready to carry out a weld. Here we have the Calder Griffon lightweight Electrofusion welder. It is capable of fusing all conventional brands and fittings of up to 200mm. This machine can either come in a hard carry case as well as a carrier bag. So on our Griffon unit, what we've done is we've set this up to quick start mode. You can see when I turn the unit on, it's going to come up with a software version, serial number, plant number, and then it's going to ask me now, have I scraped the pipe? Yes. Has the joint been clamped? Yes. Okay, that's the voltage output that it's going to carry out the weld, so I can accept that. This is where you'll put in the welding time. We know that is 90 seconds because we got that information off the fitting. And we know that the cooling time was 10 minutes, which we also got off the fitting. So we activate that. So what it's telling us now is that it's weld 373, the time is 90 seconds, the voltage is 39.5, and the cooling time is 10 minutes. At this stage, we can push play to carry out the weld. So the welding procedure is busy being carried out. If you have a look at the fitting itself, you will see that there's two little black studs that whilst the welding is being carried out, you'll see that those will get pushed out, which means that you're getting an optimal weld and a good pressure within it while it's welding. And now that the weld is complete, you'll see that the unit is counting down from 10 minutes, which is its cooling time. We recommend that you keep it within its clamps so that it doesn't disturb while the weld itself is solidifying. Now that we've concluded a successful weld, we can now remove the fittings. Always putting the protective caps on between welds. We then can set up for another weld, just bearing in mind that we will leave this in situ for the correct recommended cooling time. We hope this has been informative, and if you need any other information, please contact us.